My name is Julie Cahoon, and I am a single mum. I have lived in Bristol for 45 years. I've got two boys, 18 and 14, and I first came to Ebby when I was 3. I came to Sunday school, and as a young adult, I went to the church services and was really involved in all the great activities that Ebby had to offer. I even got baptised when I was 13. I loved God, I loved my life, and nothing really challenging had happened up until that point. But when I turned 20, my mum died, and my life kind of drifted off into a bit of a different direction. I got married and I had children, obviously, in my mid-20s. And life started to become quite real then, and quite hard and quite challenging, mainly because the burden of making everyone feel happy and being a great mum and paying for a mortgage and bills and the reality of day-to-day living hit. And the fun times of early 20s and feeling like you got the whole life to sort everything out had kind of stopped. What made it even more challenging was I was in a difficult marriage. I wasn't in a happy marriage, and I was trying to make it all work and make sure it didn't affect the children, and I didn't really think about any of my happiness in that. So fast forward several years, and I'm now a single mum, and that's really when my journey with God really began. Very small steps, but gradually the burden and the weight and the fear that I felt as this individual who had to make everything okay all of the time was completely overwhelming. And I didn't really see much joy in day-to-day living. I could appreciate nice things, and when they happened to me, I'd be a happy person and a positive person. But every single day I was filled with fear of bills, debt, and how to make everyone, okay, and my children to be sane adults and all the rest of it. And so what the usual thing was my friends would come over with wine and cheap tortillas, because we were broke, and we'd get a bit tipsy and we'd try and put the world to rights. And that's we thought we could figure everything out. We thought we could sort the whole problems of the whole world and everyone else's relationships out, because I think we typically do that. And as time went on, nothing really was changing for any of us. So it was earlier this year that I made a decision to come back to church, and that's really where my journey of having a personal relationship with God began. So something was really different this time when I came back to church, because I didn't feel that I'd ever turned my back on God or the church. In fact, especially when debates came up in pubs and things like that, and people said, "Do you believe in God?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I believe in God." Because I believed in God, I just didn't have a relationship with him, and I didn't think that I was different to anybody else. And the people that kind of were really churchy, they were special people, and they were more deserving and more worthy of God's love. Kind of did think that. So those people were different, but I believed in God, and that was that. So when I came back to church this time, it was really different, and I knew it was led by God. And I came back and I just loved worshipping. I loved the singing, and this personal relationship that I'd heard about that people had was happening for me. And really it was happening for the very first time for me properly. And how I could explain a personal relationship with God would be the same as you having a personal relationship with Justin Bieber or Katy Perry, or you know them and you know they exist, but you haven't got a relationship with them right now. You might like to, but then suddenly you do, and then you become their best friend and you can speak to them every day, and that just feels absolutely amazing. The thing is with God is that he's never going to let you down, and those people are actually just people, and they would in real life. But it's like that, they exist, you just don't normally have a relationship with them. But now I can speak to God every day, and all that fear that I talked about earlier, all that, the burden and the overwhelming feeling all the time of having to make everything right for everybody and constantly living in fear, has gone. I don't have to go and get drunk with my friends on a Friday night to make that feeling go away anymore. I don't have to wake up with it. I don't have to go to bed with it. It's gone. Sorry, I've got really emotional. And that comes from having a personal relationship with God and knowing that you are worthy and you are deserving. And everybody is special in God's eyes. And he loves everybody equally. So it doesn't really matter what you've done or where you've been or how you've lived before. It's all good with God. So now my life just feels really different. In a really short space of time, I love coming to Ebby Church. I love getting together with a group of people that are feeling the same thing I'm feeling, and it's just really powerful when we all get together and feel that collectively. And I really feel God's presence when I'm together with other people, particularly in worship and singing. I'm really excited every single day when I wake up and I greet that with God, and I'm excited about my future and what that might look like in God's eyes, and being able to be excited about what it brings, because I know whatever I'm faced with, I'm going to face it with God. So everything's going to be fine and cool, and it's all sorted.